Hey everyone, so welcome. This is the Blockcircle Indonesia workshop. I'm Basil Ismail. I'm the CEO of Blockcircle Global and one of the leads in Blockcircle Indonesia. And basically, I'll just give you a quick rundown on my background. I would say, a financial engineer, a data scientist, and a blockchain researcher. That's where I've spent the majority of my career. Has been working in corporate America prior to starting Blockcircle. We've been doing this since 2017. So since my eldest Ryan was born, very proud of everything we've built or of everything we developed. I used to work at in different banks. So I used to work at Scotiabank. Then I worked at Goldman Sachs in New York. And then I moved to Arizona and I was working most recently as the director of product engineering and data science in American Express. And I basically used all of that to be able to apply everything I've learned and everything that I've come to really appreciate and enjoy and be passionate about, like in terms of information security and algorithms and financial engineering and data analysis and science, etc. And then I applied everything towards trying to fully utilize everything that was being presented to us, with crypto. So to me, it's like the most attractive opportunity ever. And we have Blockcircle, and that this is something that it's taken us a really long time to build. It's something that I think we're tremendously proud of. We have a whole global alpha community where we we basically have like researchers, scientists, mathematicians, statisticians, quants, etc., who are all doctors, dentists, everyone who's in this alpha community who are all helping contribute alpha, who are all contributing ideas, and they're the ones who are introducing us to new projects as well, and new projects to farm for airdrops, new projects to look at that are considered microcaps and small caps, where we're constantly, reviewing each other's material, and it's something that's really fun. Like we're a big family here, and we have almost 1,000 people globally, and it's something that's, I think, tremendously powerful. To me, it's something that I'll always have, and that I'll always keep building and keep scaling. And then we also have our Alpha Hunter suite of tools, and that Alpha Hunter suite of tools, I'll go through that step by step because there's a lot of you who have asked for, can you give us an edge on the market? Can you give us some type of alpha? Can you give us an insider tip? That's where the majority of my time and the team's time are all spent focusing on building out the Alpha Hunter. So welcome, Abdullah. And so we'll go through that. And then we have our investment analytics platform, which is entirely free, completely available for everyone. Other companies charge like $100+ a month for this alone, and we offer it completely for free. And then we have our course as well in English and in Indonesian. So everything we do is available in English and in Bahasa Indonesian with the team here leading it. So that's my background. That's what I've done, and I'm really happy to be here. So Agnes, do you wanna introduce yourself, and then Connor,
Yes.
please go
Hello,
ahead.
everyone. I am Agnes, and I'm building Blockcircle Indonesia. And we've been building Blockcircle Indonesia for a few years. And as you see, the puzzle explained everything that we have Alpha Hunters in Discord. We have course, it's free course, and we have a lot of things that puzzle we cover today. So hari ini kita akan bahas kurang lebih seperti yang sudah kita tara di posternya kita itu. Kita akan bahas tentang trading on chain dan segala yang ada. Terus tadi Basil sudah memperkenalkan dirinya dan memberikan gambaran sedikit tentang tools di Blockcircle. Jadi singkatnya itu Blockcircle adalah komunitas alpha. Jadi kita suka dapat alpha gitu dari Discord, dan kita itu bikin toolsnya sendiri dari Discord untuk memfilter semua alpha-alpha terbaru yang ada di Discord. Jadi teman-teman bisa lihat alpha Solana, terus Ethereum, semuanya bisa teman-teman akses secara lengkap. Tapi yang sudah ada di sini biasanya kita filter lagi karena yang ada di sini itu masih kayak baru, benar-benar pure yang alpha terbaru yang baru launch. Jadi harus screening lagi sendiri untuk bisa dapat yang baru. So itu kurang lebih dari aku. Selanjutnya nanti ada Connor. Jadi Basilisman ini CEO-nya Blockcircle. Kalau Blockcircle sendiri itu udah dari tahun 2017, udah lumayan lama. Berapa tahun belakangan baru. Terima kasih. Thank you.
Connor, please go ahead.
Can you hear me, guys? Yeah?
No, now we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I've been in Blockcircle for like 5 years now, since 20. And really getting before the 2021 bull market. And that was a massive kind of almost a life-changing moment, I suppose, for me. It sort of got me through a massive sort of return on investment from the market, particularly on chain with Uniswap and sort of ERC20, and the whole DeFi boom, DeFi summer, and then the entire bull market boom in 2021 was huge for me. From then, I really got hooked to move from marketing into crypto. Was sort of Web3 marketing and different projects. So joined Blockcircle as part of the team in 2023, and we founded Blockcircle Indonesia that year, and it's been incredible. It's been an incredible couple of years, and yeah, really enjoying everything we're working on, and yes, it's really exciting. Everybody here to talk about on-chain.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Connor. So some of you have been asking about the Discord already, messaging me about it. So basically, we'll go through the specifics how you can access everything. So it's very simple. We have our Blockcircle research and investment analytics platform, which is entirely for free, and it has hundreds of metrics, thousands of cryptocurrencies, 18 blockchains worth of data, and that allows you to look at investor sentiment, allows you to look at derivative and futures data, allows you to look at DeFi growth and adoption and market performance and miner performance, etc. To look at growth like on a social level, like our YouTube channels growing, our Twitter channels growing, are they people losing interest, gaining interest, etc. So it's quite powerful on its own. And then we have our course as well that's on Blockcircle Learn. So it's learn.blockcircle.com. But the Discord, so we're very selective about who we accept. So we just have premium. So this is obviously in US dollars, but we have it in Indonesian rupiah that Agnes and Connor can show you. But basically, once you join premium, then you would have access to everything. It's as simple as that. And we're running a discount also for this workshop. But anyways, we'll talk about that later. So for now, there's a bunch of people who just joined. And before we get started, Anton, you raised your hand. So you can just unmute, please, and ask your question. So anybody who wants to ask a question, just, I'm going to keep giving you multiple opportunities. So like, no pressure, but I want us to be interactive, So please ask as many questions as you want. So Anton, go ahead. We'll wait for you to ask. because you had raised your hand. I don't know if you accidentally did that or did you purposely want to do that? No? Okay. So what we wanted to first just start off, because we're all at different levels where we get started. So we'll try to take it slow, and we'll be as detailed and as thorough as we can be. So the best way of explaining where we are today and what on-chain is to start just from like very quickly, 1 minute, what's crypto history, right? So initially, crypto itself was primarily only available through off-chain trading using centralized exchanges, right? And you could go on Coinbase, or you can go on Indodax, or you can go on Pintu or IDX, or any of the major prominent Indonesian crypto exchanges. And from there, you were able to Toko Crypto, of course, and you were able to go and acquire Bitcoin or Ethereum or different cryptocurrencies off-chain. But the problem with these, the key risks with off-chain trading, which by using a centralized cryptocurrency exchange, is that they're perfect honeypot targets. So meaning that they have a wealth of funds, there's a wealth of cryptocurrency assets that are sitting on centralized crypto exchanges, and they are the ideal targets for hackers, right? That's why they're called honeypots. So these centralized exchanges were hacked. They constantly disappeared. There's hundreds of them that I've used over the years, that you would put money into them and they would just disappear overnight. And so they would just walk away with all the money. So, it was a really easy and it was really convenient, but it was extremely risky. So, it went from being this like really simple world where you just set up your account, KYC your identity on these exchanges, and then you would go and buy the crypto you want, you keep it on the exchange, and everything is rosy and fine. But then they started getting hacked. So then that led to phase 2, which is on-chain, right? And on-chain is where you are executing trades on decentralized exchanges, right? And the decentralized exchanges, welcome Akbar, the decentralized exchanges are like Uniswap and Radium and Jupiter and the thousands of other decentralized exchanges that are out in production today, covering all the different blockchains. And that was incredible, right? And it was really easy when they first got released because they weren't compromised, right? They weren't exploited. They weren't taken advantage of as much as they are now. So it was a clean world. It was very simple. It was trustworthy. You could just connect your wallet to an exchange, buy a token that seems to be legitimate, and then you're on your way. But now the problem is 99% of the tokens are honeypots. And honeypots in this context is different than honeypots in the first context of centralized exchanges. Honeypots in this context are literally rug pulls, where the creator of the smart contract just disappears and suddenly takes all the funds with him or her, and you're essentially holding a bag of rocks. Like that's the metaphor I like to use. Like you're holding a bag of rocks. You cannot sell those tokens. They are worth absolutely nothing. And that's obviously a disaster, right? So this is the key risk with on-chain trading is over 99% of tokens are honeypots or scams or rug pulls, or they end up being illiquid, where the liquidity in a liquidity pool is not locked, right? And I'll go through that, and I'll spend a lot of time explaining what I mean by that. But at a very simple level, if you go to any of the projects that are going live, you can see how much liquidity is locked. So if I look, for example, at Crazy Frog right now, that was just launched 5 hours ago, if you go to the liquidity pool in dexscreener.com, right, this is a trading terminal that aggregates all the decentralized exchanges, you can see how much is locked, right, and or burnt. So that's what you want. You want projects that have liquidity that is locked and or burnt. Problem is, the majority of projects don't have liquidity being locked, right? And then the problem with that is that they suddenly just disappear. And when they disappear, it's very frustrating, right? It's very frustrating because then you have nothing. There's nothing you can do. So for example, this coin, ERC69, when you look at their liquidity, there's no liquidity locked, right? There's no liquidity locked. And there's several ways to determine whether or not it is locked or not locked. But the problem is if there's no liquidity in the liquidity pool, then you're holding a bag of rocks. Again, you're back to square one of holding tokens that have no value. You cannot trade them on the market. So that essentially makes it a honeypot, right? So this is the risk. This is the key risk of on-chain trading. And then the second problem is hot wallets. Hot wallets are constantly hacked. And I'm talking about MetaMask. I'm talking about Phantom. I'm talking about every type of hot wallet is easily hacked and accessible by somebody who has access to your computer. And they don't even, many times, if you're already logged in and you've authenticated your account, you don't even have to reveal your password. They'll be able to wipe out everything that's in it. So there's hot wallets being hacked. There's Telegram trading bots being hacked. There's emails that you're getting in email that are phishing scams. So basically means you're accessing a website that looks completely real, and then they say click here to claim your airdrop for this project, and you click there and you connect your wallet, and it looks exactly like Uniswap, or it looks exactly like Jupiter or Radium Exchange. And then the minute that you connect your wallet to that airdrop issuer website, it wipes out your account and it wipes out everything that's on the computer because it takes control of your browser. And that's a disaster. And there's so many people that's happened to. So you could see this is basically a minefield, right? That's where we are right now. It is a minefield where there's all these traps. And if you just click the wrong thing and you head the wrong direction and you move the wrong way, everything explodes and you lose everything. So that's where we are literally today. Is there's just endless scams and liquidity drains, and you're just holding these bag of rocks that have no value, and it's very frustrating. So and this is why we made this little image here of like these thieves, these cabals. That's what I call them, is these cabals of people controlling token supplies. And these are insiders pumping and dumping, shillers, pumpers and dumpers, grifters, people who are on Telegram call groups who are just saying, hey guys, I found this ABC project that looks really interesting. You should check it out. And it's just them dumping on you, right? So it's the same exact formula over and over again. And so where does that leave us, right? So that leads us to like how can we possibly invest safely and profitably, right? So I've explained the problem, and then the solution is there's a few ways, but one way is to just take advantage of everything that we've built with Blockcircle, right? Because I feel very humbly when I say this, but I would say that we never partner with exchanges. We never partner with crypto companies that are selling tokens. We never partner with anyone who can compromise our objective opinion, right? So we remove any bias from the equation. And I think we're proud of that. That's something that I'm very proud of. And that's something that we built a very good reputation for ourselves. So much so that the only partnership that we have in Indonesia is with Coinvestasi, which Indonesian crypto network, ICN owns Coinvestasi. So Coinvestasi is the largest media and publication company in Indonesia. And we have an exclusive trading partnership with them. And they are very strict about who they partner with, and they never partner with somebody who is biased in any way. And we have a partnership with them. So that is it, right? And we're proud of that. And then also I'll be speaking this year at CoinFest, and we'll be hopefully I'm back on the alpha stage. I spoke last year; it was really fun, and then we'll speak again this year. So that was awesome. But yeah, that's really the history, and hopefully that explains everything, and that gives everyone an understanding of where we're at. So today, what we wanted to do, and just depending on what your level of expertise is, but basically we've covered already some of this. So I'll go through what is on-chain trading. We talked about it. How do you access it? We did that, and I'll show you again. What is a smart contract? What are blockchain explorers? what are the risks and opportunities. We'll go through that properly. And then just depending on whether or not you've already done a lot of this, we can skip some of these topics if they're too easy. But what I'll do is I'll ask, like, do you want me to go through this? And if no one says yes, then I'll just, skip it, right? So, but yeah, that's what we wanted to do today. Okay, so are there any questions so far from anyone about any topics that you want us to do, or if there's anything that you would like for us to cover? No? Okay. So, how do you first get started on on-chain trading? So, how you get started? Go ahead, Agnes.
Hey, Basil, I'm going to drop in a few more questions here.
Yes.
From some people who contributed. Just bear with me 2 seconds. Go on ahead, and I'll drop them in the notes as you go.
Yeah, that's perfect. Because what I'll do is, if the questions are not related to exactly what I'm talking about, then we'll go through all the questions at the end, and then we're recording it. So anyone who's registered and who's not able to anybody who's registered and not able to attend, then they'll be able to access it.
Yep.
Perfect. Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome,
So the first thing you do to get started on on-chain trading is you would first need to set up a wallet. I think that would be your first step. And the way to do that is you go to MetaMask and you go to metamask.io. And this hot wallet is one of the most established, respected, reputable, trustworthy hot wallets. Now, there's a difference between a hot wallet and a cold wallet, right? A lot of people have mentioned that this is what they use. They use MetaMask, or they use another wallet called Phantom. The problem with these, though, as trustworthy as they may be, you have to be careful because, again, if your computer or your browser is compromised in any way, then these wallets can be easily compromised. And if they are compromised, that means that all of your crypto can be wiped out and it could be withdrawn from your wallet. So you have to be extremely careful. But all you do is you go to metamask.io and then you install it as an extension, right? And that is it. There's nothing more. There's literally nothing more to it than that, right? So it's very straightforward. And then once you have it set up as a wallet, then you're able to see it up here. See, like how I have it up here. So this is my MetaMask wallet, and then I have my Phantom wallet. And yeah, that's really how it works. Like it's quite straightforward. And then what I also want to show you is, so let me switch it now. I'll show you. Okay, so let me log in. Okay, so once you have it installed, you go to MetaMask.
I'm also sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Can you please just slow down a bit?
Yes.
No.
Yes, I'll slow
you.
down. Hi, Lena, how are you? Welcome.
Hi, how are you? I'm good, thank you.
Good, welcome. We're just getting started here, just going through the basics,
Okay.
and thank you for joining. Appreciate it.
Happy to-
So, and yes, I will slow down. So the first thing you do again is you go to metamask.io, you install it as an extension, and then you have it then available as an extension. And then this is what I'm clicking up here. So once you have it installed, you click it. And then once you click it, you'll be able to set up a wallet. And you have to just go through the steps. Like it's not going to take you more than like 1 minute to do, but you're going to end up getting a public key and you're going to end up getting a private key. Public key you share with others, and that's what everyone sees, and that's safe to share. The private key is something you keep yourself, and that's your private secret key, right? It's your own private code that you're able to access the wallet using, and you don't ever want to share that with anyone. So only you have that, and that's MetaMask, and it's the exact same process for Phantom Wallet, because Phantom Wallet supports even more blockchains than MetaMask because it supports Bitcoin as well, and it's the exact same concept. So you just say download for Chrome, it takes you to the Chrome Web Store, and then you just click add to Chrome, and then you install it, and you go through each of the steps. So step 1, set up a new wallet. Step 2, it's going to tell you what the private key is for that wallet, so you keep it as a backup. And then once you have a backup, then you're able to take that wallet and you could import it to any other wallet app, right? So if you create a wallet using MetaMask, then you can import it into a wallet on Phantom. If you create a wallet in Phantom, you can import it into a wallet on MetaMask, right? So hopefully this is making sense. If there are any questions, please just ask. Maybe we'll take a minute to just pause here before we go to the next step. But that's really what these hot wallets are for. So those are the hot wallets. And then the cold wallets are wallets like Ledger, right? So Ledger Wallet is considered one of the most reliable and safest hardware wallets or cold wallets. And these are physical devices. So these are literally like a little USB dongle. And you have it as some that have a touch screen, some are wireless, some are wired, where you plug physically into the computer using USB connection. And then, but Ledger is good, it's reliable, but they're not perfect. So none of these cold wallets or hardware wallets are perfect, but this one is very good. Trezor is very good. Grid Plus Lattice is good. Those are all good. The experience around using them is not the best, I will tell you. But for now, I would just focus on getting a hot wallet set up and then just putting a few dollars in, and then you'll be up and running. So the way you would do it is once you have these hot wallets set up, you withdraw from your Toka Crypto or Indodax or IDX exchange. You withdraw from those exchanges into your hot wallet, right? It's literally as simple as that. So, and we go through that in the course. So we go through that process of how to set that up in the course itself, right? And again, we have it in Indonesian and we also have it in English. In Indonesian, Agnes, she was the one who created and developed and prepared all the content for everyone. And then in English, it was the co-founder and my partner and my good friend Alex, who's also known as Crypto Hunter. He did section 2 and then I did the other sections. So, but that we explain everything about off-chain trading, on-chain trading, and we talk about how you need to set up a wallet on-chain, right? So you can go through that step by step, but it's really not that complicated. I think once you go through the lessons, it's fairly straightforward. And yeah, so like for example, you just go to the lesson, and it shows you exactly what you're going to learn, right? So step by step, it shows you exactly what you're going to learn and what decentralized exchanges are available and which ones to use, and they're very short. So some lessons are short, some of them are a little longer, but they're as long as I think as they need to be, not any longer and not any shorter, right? All right, let me just pause there because I've covered, I feel like, a lot of material there. Any questions from anyone? Welcome, Bon Voyage. I love your name. It makes me want to travel. Any questions from anyone? And you can ask in Bahasa Indonesian too. This is like Agnes can answer them, and then if she wants my help, then she can translate to me. So please ask. Agnes, maybe you can ask everybody in Bahasa if they have any questions.
Oke. Halo semuanya, kalau yang punya pertanyaan bisa langsung aja pakai bahasa Indonesia juga nggak apa-apa. Nanti aku bantu terjemahkan ke Basil langsung dan jawabannya dari Basil juga aku bantu terjemahkan buat semuanya atau yang punya pertanyaan. Bisa langsung angkat tangan atau on mic juga nggak apa-apa.
No questions from anyone?
Not yet.
Okay.
Maybe just the questions that we send it to you
Yeah, but
from some people.
those are like we'll go through them. Those are very good questions. So I'll
Okay.
answer those.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm looking at some of them now. So I'm answering some of these. So we'll go through them. But that's how you get set up. So that's like the first step of getting set up on chain is setting up the wallet. And then the next step is, I would say the easiest way is to use a trading terminal. And what a trading terminal is, really, is think of it as an app that you use that gives you access to any of the decentralized exchanges that are available out there, right? So an example of a decentralized exchange is, like we said, Uniswap, Radium, Jupiter, etc. But the trading terminals, the best ones that you could use are Dex Screener, which is what you see here, right? So dexscreener.com. And then another one is Gecko Terminal. These are the two best. I don't see any reason to use any other ones. Like GMGN.io is okay. That's not really a trading terminal. And then there's the Bird one. There's like a million. And I go through all of them. But honestly, the Dex Screener and Gecko Terminal are probably the best. Bird Eye used to be really good. It's still good, but I just don't think it's as needed, right? So okay, so let's keep going. So now the next step is, once you know which trading terminal to get going, then you need to make sure that you understand, what to do and how to set everything up. So let's say you have a project that you really want to buy and you really want to look into it. You would first, somebody was going to give you the token, right? And then how do you actually do it? So you would first go to the Dex Screener page that has the contract. If you only have the contract address, which looks like this, 0xCF, right? You would go into Dex Screener, paste it in, and then once you paste it in, it'll tell you where it's being trading, right? So here, this is the Ethereum button. So this shows you that it's on Ethereum. This little unicorn is showing you that it's on Uniswap as a decentralized exchange. This is the market cap, right? And with this market cap, you have a good idea of what the liquidity is, 65,000. You know what the volume is. And then from here, you know what the contract address, and you make sure that it matches yours, right? So it ends with B059, so you know it's 1-to-1, it's okay. In the last day, this is how much it's increased in value. And if it looks it's matching what you were expecting it, you click it. And this is where it gets overwhelming, because you can see how complicated it is, because then you have to go through it and you have to see whether or not it's real. Like, so there seems to be 1,100 holders, right, here. And if there are 1,100 holders, you want to make sure that you want to look at the composition of those holders. So how much is one particular whale holding? So the liquidity pool is holding 7%. And then the next whale is holding 1%, holding 1%, 1%, 1%. So far, this looks okay. This is not like particularly concerning, but you see there's concerns over here, right? There's some major concerns over here. And you have to go through this, and it's a very painful manual process. So for example, if I go through the Go Plus security, it's going to tell me that when it's auditing it, it's showing you some red flags. So one, there's a blacklist. So the creator of this project can blacklist any wallet he or she wants, which means that they can block all trading and all transfers for any wallet that they want. They have full control. And they also can whitelist accounts. So these are both, it's not very good, right? It's not I would say it's not really a full red flag. It's more of like an amber flag, like an orange flag. Another problem I see with it is that Token Sniffer, which is a really good comprehensive token audit, it's incomplete, but it's good. It's given its score of 35. And you would want to click that and you would want to look into it. So let's go through the process, and I want to show you how painful this is, right? So it's saying now the score is a lot better, which is good. So now it looks like it finally does have some liquidity locked, which is good. And there's nothing else concerning so far from a token audit standpoint. And then you would have to look into the project itself. So you'd have to do your due diligence on the project and see, is this a meme? Is it a utility coin? Is it a fundamental coin? Like, what makes this project special? Only one person I know is following this project. So that's a little odd, but it's a new project. So it's I guess it's not that surprising. But what exactly is it? So immortalizing MetaPlanet on chain. What does that mean? So MetaPlanet has overtaken Tesla in corporate Bitcoin holdings, buying 1,234 and bringing its total. I don't think this is, I think this is just a meme coin. I don't think this is the actual MetaPlanet. Yeah, I see it's metaplanet.com. So usually when you see these types of projects and they immediately start giving you the contract address and they're starting to push you towards the Uniswap, the decentralized exchanges, the CoinGeckos, etc., then I would just be I'd be a little careful. I just would be a little careful here. And then you just got to research it more and more and more. So if you're in Deck Screener and you want to see what others are mentioning about it, you go into Deck Screener and go into here. It says search on Twitter. And then look for the contract address. So what this is going to do is it's going to search for this contract address, right? Which is this. It's going to search for this contract address on Twitter, and you'll see what other people are talking about when it comes to this coin. So this is all part of your due diligence. It's all part of your process. And you want to see, are these people, are they pumping it? Are they shilling it? Do they have a good history? Who are these people who are buying this coin and pushing it, right? And you want to look at their background and see what have they accomplished anything of value, right? And like here, Greg X Crypto, we got in at 12K market cap. See, like that something's odd there, right? So DM for VIP, Telegram, and Discord entry. So he seems like he's just pushing this project. He's probably one of the founders, market insiders, grifters. I don't know. I mean, but it's always good to be safe rather than being sorry. And I would be careful, right? So this is something that I would be a little uncomfortable with. So you're like, why are you buying something at 12K market cap unless you're an insider or you got an insider tip from someone that this is going to pump? So I would be careful here. And then this is just part of your due diligence and your research, right? So you go through this, and then there's so many other things, right? So you see how painful this process is. I mean, this takes forever. You can't possibly do this for every single new launch because you can see, right? Look at how many new launches there are. There's so many new launches. Like if I go to Gecko Terminal and I go to all the new pools, there are literally new launches every 30 seconds. There's a new launch, right? And they all seem promising. So you're like, okay, liquidity 24,000, already has 34 transactions, already has $1,000 volume. How are you going to review every single one of these projects? There's hundreds of thousands of projects being launched a day, right? And the challenge with this is that it just takes forever. It's full of scams. Majority of them are scams, rug pulls, liquidity drains, like where the project disappears. And it's just really painful, right? And if it's painful, then then you just give up and you don't really want to do it. So the best way is what we've done, and this is what I was talking to you about the Alpha Hunter, is our Alpha Hunter, what we've built is, and I'll explain what it is. It basically, it tracks a project from when the project's first created to the project actually launching and tokenizing, to then the project being listed on centralized exchanges like Indodax, like Toko Crypto, like Binance, Coinbase, Kraken, etc. So you can track the project essentially at each phase of its life cycle, right? So you can track exactly where it is and what its history is and whether or not it has a good reputation or bad reputation. And then that way is how we've been able to buy projects that have gone up a lot, right? And you can see, right? So we have Moby AI, we have Jelly, we have GoFundMe, we have Sora Labs. Like, we did really well on these projects, and that's thanks to the Alpha Hunter, where we're looking for new projects, right? So this Alpha Hunter is basically taking new projects and scanning them and looking for whales and looking for very successful traders to see whether or not those traders are buying these tokens. So out of 100,000 projects, for example, it will only give us 0.1%. So out of 100,000, only 0.1% will come through the Alpha Hunter, right? For new token launches. And that's, to me, is very, very valuable. And right now, version 1 is working on Solana, and you could see it here. And then version 2 is working on and it's not released yet, but hopefully soon. And that'll be all the other EVM chains like Ethereum, Base, Arbitrum, Optimism, Abstract, etc. So for example, this is what we do. So on June 10th, Poly M Trade was launched as a token, right? And we immediately found it at 12:14 p.m. my time. And I'm all the way in Arizona, so this is not like Jakarta or Bali or Ampanese time, right? This is Arizona, time. So we found this at 12:14, and we see the description, and this is completely custom coded to us. So I'm very proud of what we did here, and we found it at 600,000 market cap. The volume was already at 1.7. It had 13,000 transactions. We could see that insiders had already made 26,000. We could see that it didn't seem to have any history of bundling. So bundling is something very important for you to understand when it comes to Solana launches. If a project is launched and the group that is creating that project bundles the supply. So essentially, if there's a supply of tokens, and then the group who's launching that project says, I want to bundle 50% of that project and still have control of the supply, they can do that through bundles. And even market insiders can bundle the supply. And that's really dangerous because you have to be very careful, because if they have control over the supply, they can dump it any second, right? I wonder if I could find like a cool image that could hopefully show a bundled token supply. Trying to think of what's the best way. The best way, honestly, one way is if you go to Gecko Terminal and go to any of the Solana projects, especially the ones that were launched like a while ago, and then it'll tell you roughly whether or not what the bundled rate is, but it doesn't always work. So it's not 100% reliable, but you see here it says bundled by. So it tells you roughly how much was bundled. But this methodology, the way that the bundled by percentage is working with Gecko Terminal, is a little different than the way that the bundled by percentage works for the way that we're doing it. So we're using two different methods. So our approach, I think, is much more complete than anything else I've seen. Is we're using two different data sources and two different methods to track bundled supply. And if we see a bundle, we see it here. And then here it tells you whether or not there's liquidity locked. Here we see whether or not the tokens can be minted. which means can the project just create unlimited supply of tokens? Can the project freeze the tokens at any time? Did the project airdrop tokens, which means did the project literally give free tokens for everyone? Because that creates fake holders, right? Not real holders. It's creating holders that didn't actually buy the token, and that's something you should know. It shows you the number of launches that the dev launched. Like if one dev, right, is launching 1,000 tokens, that's a huge red flag. Like, and 99.9% of them are all rugs. Then I would be very careful, right? I would think twice about what I'm doing. So hopefully you're getting an idea of like how incredibly powerful the Alpha Hunter can be. But then if
I think we've all, Basil, I think we've all experienced the absurd amount of rug pulls at the minute on Solana and Pump Fund and just the avalanche in this last couple of years of rug pulls for sure. So we can, I think everyone here could appreciate that for sure.
Absolutely, man. Because the thing is though is you see how detailed we have to be, because this is how we disqualify 99.9% of the projects. And that's why only 0.1% of the projects come through. And even that 0.1%, if they are memes, they don't usually survive more than a few days, right? So you know that, and you have to be very careful. And that's where I think the alpha community is extremely helpful, because then we have everybody who comes in and who are always looking out for us. Hi, Danya, welcome. You're on mute, but it's okay. No worries. So the holders. So another thing that's very important to see is you want to track the growth, right? And yeah, merci. Go ahead. I like your name. Go ahead. Do you want you raised your hand? Do you want to ask a question? You just need to unmute yourself. Merci Maria Kifuk. It's cool. I like that name. Merci means thank you in French. It's like, thank you, Maria Kifuk. All right. Well, if you have questions, if anyone has questions, you don't need to raise your hand. Just unmute and jump in, please. Like, you're not interrupting. Like, I just want to. I want to get some engagement, right? So ask as many questions as you'd like. And we'll go through the rest of the questions after. So, okay. So tracking the number of holders is very important, because you can see this project went from 600 holders to 1,700, right? And that's extremely valuable to know, because that's the kind of trajectory you want. That's the type of growth that you want. Looking at the distribution is very important, because this shows you, do you have a few people controlling a huge amount of the supply, or do you have proper distribution, right? Do you have a healthy holder distribution, right? Hopefully that's making sense. When we first caught this, we saw that there were 2 whales buying, and these are good whales. So these are not just some scammy whales. These are whales that have a significant amount of capital. So for example, one of them has 409,000 in their wallet. Out of that, they bought almost $1,000 worth of this of this Polymarket project, right? And then they had 186,000 of Elon and 41,000 in Mixi, and etc. The second whale had 326,000, and you could see. So we're tracking when they first buy. So they bought 3 million quantities, and then they sold, right? This one bought 19 million, and then he or she sold. This is extremely important to know, because if these whales are selling, then we need to know, right? You don't want to miss that detail, because then you may have to think twice about buying this token. And then we also track the social popularity and the history of the project. So a lot of times what you'll see is projects launch, and then they are reusing old social profiles. So either they stole the profiles, or they or it's their own profiles that they're rebranding to something else, which you're allowed to do legally, but you should never take a personal profile and rebrand it to a business profile and to make profit from that, right? Which is what you see. But in this case, that's not what happened. And that is it. So that's the project. And it did really well. When we first bought it, it did extremely well. So the trick is to go in quickly, and then when you're in profit, you exit quickly, right? Because you don't know whether or not these projects are going to survive, but you de-risk. So if you put in $100 or you put in, let's say, a million rupiah, if you're in profit, then you immediately de-risk and you start reducing your position, right? So hopefully that makes sense. Someone else raised their hand, but again, if there's any questions, you don't need to raise your hand. You could just jump in and ask. So yeah, it's good. We have a lot of people on, which is awesome. Yeah, please ask.
Did Bobby get
Did you see the question from Bon Fourier? He's asking, there are many channels in community trading. Can you tell us more the activities, purposes, and long-term program viewers?
Yeah, so we'll go through that. I think all these questions these are really good questions. So we'll go through all the questions that are not related to exactly what I'm talking about at the end, I think that's the best way. I think we'll have plenty of time. But that's the Alpha Hunter. And right now we have it for Solana. So Solana is by far the largest, most complicated blockchain in crypto. And then we have it for Solana memes. So this is, I would think, even riskier, but it also comes with like tremendous opportunity. So for example, if you look at like, Solana Crazy Frog, right? And this project we caught it at 1:37 a.m. And a lot of these projects, the problem with them is that a lot of times they'll disappear. But for this one, it did really well. Like from when we first caught it, right? We caught it at 200K. It went up 10x, right? So you see, this is what I'm saying, is that it's best not to hold these memes for long. So this is like the WeChat mascot, right? And we caught it very shortly, within 15 minutes of launch. Within 15 minutes of launch, we caught this project, right? So right here. So we caught it here at we caught it even earlier than that. Let me see here. 137, we caught it at 239. 239 was the market cap. So when was it 239? Oh, no, that is the right time. So right here, it was 1 minute before. So we caught it at 239, and then it went up almost 10x. Now, obviously, not every project's going to do that, but you could see a good time to de-risk would have been around 700K. Another time would have been around 1 million. And another time, you had so many opportunities to de-risk and to sell. Even if you sold, 20% here, and then sold another 20% here, and then sold another 20% here, and then you sold another 20% here, and then you sold the remainder here, you would be doing extremely well, like extremely well, right? So hopefully this is giving you an idea of how incredibly powerful this Alpha Hunter is for new token launches, because you see it's got token liquidity, 69% is burnt, and then another 30% is burned through Radium. So, which is good, right? But I don't know if this project's going to survive longer than a day, so I wouldn't want to be holding this for too long, So if I go to see like here, they're not connecting their Twitter. Let me go back. So their Twitter they don't even have a Twitter. See, this is exactly my point. This is exactly what I'm saying. So like, this is just a frog that was posted by the official WeChat Twitter profile. And it's just a dancing frog. It's just funny. It's just a funny dancing frog. You shouldn't take it seriously. But they created a meme coin from it. It's funny. It's catchy. It's got multiple whales in it. Real whales, not, fake whales. And so far it seems like they were holding for most of it. If you're not sure if they're still holding, all you do is you click this buy and sell view, and then this will tell you whether or not they're holding. So I'll show you. So you see? So they sold already. So there you go. This shows you exactly what they did. They bought here, and then we were alerted within 5 to 10 minutes after they bought. We knew at 137. They bought at like 130, and then they sold, right? They sold when they were up 2x. That's for that one whale. And then if you want to look at the other whale, you could do the same exact thing. So let's go to this whale and see when did they buy. See, look, I mean, this is definitely a whale I would be following and catching and paying more attention to, because look how incredible they are at exiting. It's unbelievable. So they bought here at 127, then they sold. What is that? Like about 14 minutes after. Then they sold again at 752. So they sold at 2x, they sold at 4x, they sold at 5x, they sold again at 3x, they sold at 5x, they sold at 7x, and then they sold close to 10x. Unbelievable. I don't think I've seen a whale this.
Basil, was that last sale a complete exit? So they completely exited then at more or less at the top. Is that right?
Yeah. So if you go here, so if you go to the Alpha Hunter and then you go to the first link here, you can click it, and then it'll show you exactly what their current holdings is for that project. So if I go here and I get and this is important for everybody to know. And you see how it's ending with bonk? So because it's ending with bonk, it means that it was launched on Bonk Fun, right? And if I go here and I go to their portfolio, oh, they have 21,000 of Titcoin. That's always fun. And then, okay, so here you go. So this is the project. Sabah al-Nur, Baba. How are you? I'm just doing a workshop now. Okay. You want to come say hi? No? Sorry, guys. Okay, so that's my son that I had. So
Welcome, Masri.
Huh? What did you say?
Oh, he's just saying Masri. So someone joined there. So
Oh, okay.
Masri joined.
Welcome.
And I'll also say hello to Zina and Rayan.
Thanks, brother. So here it is. So he still has 3.3 million. He still has 3.3 million, this whale. So, and then if you click his token account, you can see exactly, see? Sold. I mean, this guy's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Right? It's beautiful. So, I mean, if he was truly unbelievable, he would have sold everything at 2 million, right? I don't know, I'm being too hard on myself.
No. He would have gradually exited.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But this is what I mean. So now the point is of the Alpha Hunter and why it's so powerful is that you now can see why tracking new token launches that are being bought by whales are high performance, profitable traders, right? So traders who you know have a history of doing really well, who have a high accuracy rate, high win rate, who have high profitability, those are the types of traders that you want to track. And those are the ones that we're tracking. And when we see what they're buying and what they're selling, then we're tracking it, right? But these are not theoretical wins. Like, these were real wins, and you see it. You see it all. Like, I'm literally showing you one from today, right? From Crazy Frog, from Alpha Hunter Solana memes. And then there's also a lot from Base that it's not released yet, but from Base, for example, you can see exactly what we have. And like, we tracked, there's so many projects that we were able to track quickly. So for example, we tracked Base Doge. Base Doge did really well. Another one was Hornstar was okay. I think there was Iris. Scamcoin did okay. But I mean, you see how like the sky's the limit here when it comes to these projects, and this is what's taken us. It's taken us so long to get to this point where we're finally able to, look at which projects are considered buying, which ones aren't. But yeah, I mean that's basically what we're doing. So like Iris by Virtuals, right? This was the first AI agent launched by Virtuals on the Ethereum blockchain, which usually it's launched on Base, but this was launched on Ethereum, and you can track that, right? So and you could see exactly which whales were buying, right? And you can track exactly how much they're buying and how much. So MacroStrategy was a meme that was launched on the 16th. That one did well as well. And then another one was Case. Case was interesting. It was that bull, right? That Vitalik, the founder of Ethereum, mentioned. And that did really, really well. And then ERC69 did extremely well as well, right? This one did well, and it's been going up and down. But you could see that when we first caught it, we caught it very early, and it went up all the way to 13 million, right? So I think it did a 3x from where we first found it, or 2x. But I mean, that's what I'm thinking is that hopefully this is helpful. And then another thing is Binance. So Binance Smart Chain, I would say, is one of the most extremely risky, toxic blockchains in terms of new launches. So having a little bit of trouble, like trying to clean that as much as possible, but it's getting a lot better. So the last one we found was MGO. That was 2 days ago. And you see, this is the thing, and this is a real project. This is a real project with real users, with real fundamentals, and real utility and real use. But the problem is they launched too high. So, and that's okay, because we essentially caught it at, I think it was we caught it at 2.9 million, which I think is there's a problem with the FTV here. There's a little bug here on Deck Screener with this particular project. But we caught it basically at very early, based upon the FTV, and then it went up a little bit. But you see, this is the thing. So, so this is an example of like projects that could do really well, projects that do okay, like Crystal Mine. I think we caught this pretty early, and this one has survived. So we caught this 819, which I think was around where 1:10 a.m. at 6:21. So 6:21 is 1:10 a.m. So we caught it around here, right? 8:10, and it went up to 2 million, right? And this project still survived. So like this one's interesting. So I would definitely pay attention to this. I don't like this. I don't like that no one I know is following it. Now, search for planets in the universe. Acquire Crystal One's blockchain game on BNB chain. I don't even know. So I would look into this, but it's in Chinese, which is okay. Now, okay. These are very good questions. I love that. Very good, Siraj. Thank you. I'll go through that. But that's it. So that's the Alpha Hunter. So I think that basically is enough to talk about that. Now, the other thing for Alpha Hunter is not just launches, but it's also very important to track projects that are being listed on exchanges. So I'll show you exactly how we're doing that, because it's very valuable. So you want to track every single project that gets listed on a major centralized exchange, right? So any centralized exchange that's listing a token is usually a very good vote of confidence. It's a very good vote of support of that project. And it means that project is probably very likely to survive at least a little longer than the rest of the projects, right? Think of it that way. And the Alpha Hunter is tracking that. So we built our own system that is tracking every single new project that is going to be listed on a centralized cryptocurrency exchange like OKX, Bitmart, Coinbase, Indodax, Toko Crypto, Binance, Bitmart, Kraken, etc. So we're tracking every single new launch to come on those exchanges. And then welcome, Bapak. And then we're also tracking new projects that are just about listed. So immediately, within a few seconds of the first trade happening, we're getting those listings, right? And that's extremely helpful. So for example, just to give you a real example. Today, just now, 7 hours ago, look at all these projects that were just listed on Indodax, right? So this is one of the largest, most successful, established, trustworthy, centralized exchanges in Indonesia, Indodax. So we're tracking ALE, ACE, XCN, AI Tech, Pond, and Syrup. Syrup was just listed on a few other exchanges as well. So we're tracking that. And when you buy, a lot of times you can go and be buying some of these tokens that are listed on Coinbase, Kraken, or Binance, and you could do extremely well, especially if the conditions are bullish. Meaning if the conditions are very positive and people are optimistic, then you can go and buy these tokens that are listed here, and you could do quite well, right? And Connor and I were doing that for a while, right? We were tracking new Binance listings. So anytime that Binance was going to list, we were tracking that. And when you track that, you could see some of the coins were going up like 100%, 200%, 300% in an hour. So we were tracking that very closely, like these, right? So Newt. So it's Newt is going to be listed on, and ignore the year. That's just how it comes through. But it's like Newt is going to be listed on June 24th. So it usually gives you a 4, 6, 8, 12-hour notice ahead of time. And we're collecting that faster than anyone else. So I think this Alpha Hunter tracking listings is very, very important. So tracking pre-listings and then tracking listings, right? So hopefully you're seeing the whole entire, flywheel and the entire strength of tracking the entire life cycle of a project from when it was first created to when it was worth farming for airdrops to when it was tokenized, so actually trading on chain, and then to when it was pre-listed on an exchange and we're getting an alert for that because the Alpha Hunter is constantly searching, and then new listings. So you're seeing the 5 phases, right? And then I think that's it. I mean, that's basically the Alpha Hunter. And then the only other thing I really wanted to make sure I go through, and then we'll go through the questions, is the momentum trading engine. But before I start that, it's best if I just stop and let's just take a minute, and then let's get everyone to, let's see if there's any questions from anyone, or if there's anything else, Connor or Agnes, anything else that you want to add, or just a few short comments about.
I suppose just to mention now that we're just over an hour in, to mention that we are doing running a promotion, doing a discount, especially for the people who take the workshop.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot. Yes.
So just to let you guys know, is if any of you have attended our previous workshops, we usually do some kind of deal. So yeah, do you want to? Yeah, so do you want to go through that very quickly and give people a breather and a bit of, we haven't shown you everything that all the tools yet, but just wait insights. Sorry about that. I'm admittedly a bad marketer, so I don't do good at talking about what to do and how to join. But basically, if you go to blockcircle.com/pricing, you could see. But we're running a huge discount that we don't usually ever discount the monthly, but we are just in good spirit. I'll be there. I'll be in Indonesia in 6 weeks or so. I'll be speaking at CoinFest again. I mentioned that. So I'm looking forward to that. But the discount that we created was, looking at the code, it's June Workshop ID 1.
So June workshop ID1 is the workshop discount code. So let me write it there so everybody sees it. And it's expiring on Sunday, and it's basically it's a pretty significant discount. So I think it takes it from like 18 million rupiah a year to like a little less than 12 million rupiah, or 20% off monthly. So yeah, you can.
Yeah, you're talking about a six juta saving yearly, approximately more than 6 juta saving yearly.
Yeah. So that's basically that. Agnes, is there anything you want to add? Or anything else? No. Okay. So.
Okay. Maybe I just want to ask. Wait.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to ask for the Indonesian people. Silakan Kak, yang ada punya pertanyaan bisa langsung aja on mic atau di kolom chat. Kalau yang udah tanya tadi nanti akan dijawab sama Basel, dan misalnya kalau masih kurang jelas nanti tinggal on mic aja atau tinggal bilang aja di komen kalau bagian mana yang kurang jelas, aku bisa bantu jelaskan. Terima kasih. Thank you.
Thank you, Kak.
You're welcome. Merci. Yeah, so Argan, this is what we were talking about. One way to just prevent scamming tokens was exactly what we were just going through. So, and if you go through the course as well, which is completely for free, you just go to learn.blockcircle.com, go to section 4, and then go through on-chain trading and go through trading terminals. Like I walk through in a lot of detail how to spot scam tokens, and then I talk about wallet security. So I talk about a lot of those subjects. So we were just going through that. So this workshop is going to be recorded, so you'll be able to look through everything we just talked about with the token audits and token sniffer, and then looking at bundled supply. And there's so many things. So the easiest way is to just focus on, if you join, you can just look at the projects that are coming through the Alpha Hunter, and then just paying attention to what we were talking about, which is, is there a cabal? How much is considered fake volume? Are there bundles? Is the liquidity being locked? Are the tokens mintable? Are they freezable? Because these are all very clear indications of a scam, right? So if you do have some of these as yes, then that means it's very risky to be a scam. Hopefully that makes sense, Argan. Any other questions so far on what we've covered? No. All right. So the last thing I wanted to go through was the momentum trading engine. To me, I would say it's probably one of the most powerful tools we've ever built. And really what it does is it's a trading engine that you set up on TradingView. So you just add it as an indicator. So you just add it like you add a normal indicator. And then once you have access to it, obviously you'll see it here, and you can just add it. And then once you add it, you would set up a configuration that we give you, right? So that we've already come up with trading strategies that have proven to be very successful and very accurate. And that's through spending years building this, right? This took us 3 years to build, and 3 years plus. And how you set up the strategy is exactly what you see here, which is you would configure it step by step. So you would first configure the strategy for when do you want it to start, when do you want it to end, and then second is set up your momentum-based parameters, right? So do you want to buy when the momentum is high, or do you want to buy when the momentum is down? Do you want to go long when the momentum is high, and do you want to go short when the momentum is down, and vice versa, right? So you would set up exactly which metrics you want to enable or disable for what conditions. So all of that rolls up into a trading strategy. You don't need to worry about coming up with your own trading strategy with the Momentum Trading Engine. We have our own, right? So we've already created some that are available for everyone. And an example of that is, configurations 1, configuration 3, configuration 4. These are 3 trading strategies that we're using every day. And each trading strategy is running on a different cryptocurrency and running on a different time frame, right? So that's what you got to remember. So like configuration 1 is running on Solana, on Binance on the 1 day. So it's more of a swing trading strategy. Configuration 4 is running on Bitcoin on the 1 hour. So configuration 4 is more of a scalp trading, so short term. Configuration 1 is more swing trading, more mid-term to long-term. So maybe you'll trade once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. Like it's very infrequent. However, on average, the Momentum Trading Engine has done a tremendous job at maintaining an average profit per month of at least, I would say, anywhere from 10 to 20%. And it's not trading micro caps and small caps. It's trading mid caps to large caps. So why this is so important is we use the Alpha Hunter, right? We use the Alpha Hunter to track projects being created, new token launches, and new token listings, right? But that's only for micro caps and small caps. For mid caps and large caps, the best way of managing them is through Momentum Trading Engine, because this allows you to trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Doge, etc., using different trading strategies. So configuration 1, configuration 3, configuration 4, those are different trading strategies. And it just tells you when to go long, to buy, and when to go short, which means when to sell. It's as simple as that, right? It's simple. I know I need to slow down. I'll slow down.
Yeah.
I think
Thank
Agnes,
you.
can you translate and like give an overview of what the Momentum Trading Engine is?
Okay. Oke. So, jadi di Blockcircle ini kita ada Momentum Trading Engine. Jadi ini tuh kayak semacam custom sinyal yang bisa kita bikin sendiri, custom sendiri. Tapi kalau misalnya belum bisa custom sendiri, dari Blockcircle udah ada setupnya, jadi tinggal di apply aja ke trading view-nya. Jadi kita pakainya trading view, basically di sini bisa setup momentumnya, kapan mau entry, kapan mau exit, itu semuanya bisa. Terus ada juga langsung itu, kalau misal, can you please exit the little tab? Yes, thank you. So kalau misalnya di sini cara aktifinnya itu nanti ada di indikator. Kalau misalnya teman-teman udah subscribe ke premium, langsung bisa dapat akses dibuka di indikator, dan nanti teman-teman bisa langsung dapat itu sinyalnya. Udah ada yang di lingkar hijau, jadi kapan bisa long, kapan bisa short, kapan juga bisa exit, semuanya tuh ada di situ.
Agnes, Merci is going to ask you a question in Bahasa. She has a question, and I want to make sure I'm understanding it.
She's asking, boleh Kak tanya?
Is she asking about new projects, new tokens, or is she talking about new trading strategies?
Untuk projectnya tuh maksudnya project baru apa gimana Kak? Ya, silakan.
Why don't you answer the questions in the DMs in Indonesia? So you can... Well, makes sense.
Yeah, but
Kak, silakan. Sorry.
no problem. So you're going to answer her question?
Yes, she's about to explain.
Okay. So we'll do that. But that's basically That's the momentum trading engine. You see, and it tells you, this trading configuration tells you when to go long and then when to go short. And then you can set it so you know exactly at the end of it, if you scroll all the way down, you know exactly when it's exiting, right? So that's your step 3. That's your exit. So you know what your stop loss would be. You know what your target profit would be. You know whether or not you want your stop loss to be moving, right? You know that when you want the position to close automatically. Yeah.
Sorry, Basil. I think Mercy just raised hands.
I know. I clicked open queue. So yeah.
Okay. Bisa Kak tanya langsung juga nggak apa-apa. Halo, kalau belum Basil dilanjutin aja dulu ya Kak. Nanti aku bantu jawab di kolom chat. You can go ahead, Basil. I will help to answer her in the comment
Yes,
section.
of course.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, of course.
Okay, that sounds good, guys. So that's literally it.
Yeah,
So that's how you have the exit. So step 1 is choose your time period. So when do you want to start? When do you want to end? Right? How long do you want to run this trading strategy for? Step 2 is what do you want to do? Do you want it to go long? When? What conditions have to be met for it to go long? Right? Do you want RSI to be above 50 and for momentum to be rising and for the price to be above a certain point? Or do you want, what conditions do you want, right? So that's step 2. And then step 3 is how do you want to manage the exit, right? So step 1, time period. Step 2, entry. Step 3, exit, right? That's as simple as that. So that's how you set up your exit. So I know this sounds like very overwhelming, and that's why we're not going to go through every single field. We have a tutorial on YouTube for it. So I don't think you would need to spend too much time trying to figure it out yourself. Like I would just go to the YouTube, go to videos, and then everything is here, right? So if you're trying to learn about the momentum trading engine and you want to understand how it works, just go through that tutorial, and that tutorial will explain everything. And this one here. So it's an hour long, but it does for shorts. I would say it's by a factor of at least almost 3. It's very worth it. Because the longs are giving you, because I go through every single component of it, step by step, explaining exactly everything, right? In like exhaustive detail. So I would go through this, and you can slow it down. You can have subtitles. You can have any kind of support you need for it. So that is the momentum trading engine. And to me, the momentum trading engine has been amazing because you can make a lot of profit from the small caps, and then you can maintain those profits with the mid caps, the large caps, using the momentum trading engine. So Alpha Hunter to get started with a portion of your portfolio, and then the momentum trading engine to grow that portfolio further with a lot less risk and in a lot more of a disciplined way, right? So hopefully that makes sense. And the way that we have it right now in the Discord is we have all the momentum trading engine trades coming through. So for example, give you an example. Right before the war that just began recently, when Israel bombed Iran, and then Iran responded back, right before that happened, we got a signal from the momentum trading engine from configuration 1 to go short on Solana, right? And that was absolutely brilliant. That was the best time to go short on crypto, was right there. And then just now, 2 days ago, it flipped to go long. And it said that's the time to go long. So it's always best to manage your exits yourself. So don't rely on any trading engine to tell you when to exit. It's always best, if you're in profit, just exit. So then you can lock in the profit, lock in those gains. And the beauty of this is that it's just very, very helpful in being able to tell you when to go long and when to go short. And it really helps guide your perspective on things. And then also in the Discord, I share my views on everything. So for example, recently, you can see, right? So on the 12th, at 9:52, I didn't feel that everything that was happening was considered like that bearish long term. I was more just convinced that it was a short term. And I explained that very clearly. I said, I think the bombing on Iran in June of 2025 is the same as the bombing in Iran back in April of 2024, where this is what I believe is going to happen, where the S&P 500, which is, the stock index for the US, that goes down. Then crude oil and gas and gold prices go higher. And then the next day, the stock market opens completely in the red with Bitcoin. And then the markets recover in 1 to 2 weeks. And that's exactly what happened, right? That's exactly what happened. So I'm not always right. Like I'm often wrong, but never in doubt, right? Like what Connor says. But I think it's just good to keep things in perspective. So I share all of my thoughts and like what I see in the market, where I feel we are. I share all of that in the market analysis channel, right? And I'm very honest. Like I use my metrics that I use. So I have a scorecard that I use, and the scorecard is here, right? So this shows it all. And yeah, I love that you guys are all asking questions. That's excellent. It's perfect. That's a really good idea, Connor, that you encouraged Agnes to answer all of them in the DM. It's perfect. But yeah, the public Telegram, we don't share any of this obviously in the public Telegram, but you can at least join and you can catch up. But yeah, okay, let's go through the rest of the questions. There's a lot of questions, and I want to start going through them. Anything else that you want to add, Connor, while Agnes is answering them? Is there anything you want to add? Or should we just go through the questions?
Not that I can think of at the minute. Just to make it totally clear, I suppose on the offer that we're doing, if anybody is unclear, it's about 30% off. I think, Basil, yeah, isn't it?
No, even more.
For yearly, about 20% off monthly.
20% off monthly, but the yearly I think ends up being more like probably 35, almost 40% off.
40%, yeah. So you're looking at about six student savings there. So if anybody needs that, just contact myself or Agnes, and it's only to people that attend the workshop, and it's only available until midnight on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean the code is there. It's the same code I mentioned, which is June Workshop ID 1. So, all right, let me go through all the questions. So the first question from Ivan, where he wrote,
can I
yeah,
add just one more thing? So could you please going back to Alpha Hunter tools really quick? There's someone wants to see it. So I explained it. Okay. 3. Thank you. So Kak, ini I will explain in bahasa Basil.
yeah, go ahead.
So ini
oh wait, let me share it. I'm posting all the questions. Let me just see let me share this with Connor, and then maybe Connor, can you do me a favor, please? And can you copy all the questions from the chat into this Google Docs?
okay.
I'm sending it to you now. Because that would help a lot in like keeping the questions organized as I go through them. So I've copied over Ivan's, but it'll be good like this, so then I can go through them one by one. Okay, Agnes, go ahead.
Thank you. So di Discord-nya ini itu ada tools Alpha Hunter-nya dari Solana, bisa dilihat sendiri semuanya di blockchain-nya itu ada Solana, Ethereum, Base dan sebagainya. Jadi di sini semua token yang baru launch itu bisa langsung masuk ke sini. Jadi teman-teman bisa buka di sini, tapi belum di screening ya. Jadi ini pure semua token apapun itu dan belum di screening. Biasanya kalau yang sudah di screening itu akan masuk di bagian project analysis. Can you go to project analysis for a second?
Yes.
Thank you. So nanti kalau misalnya Basil sudah selesai screening project-projectnya itu, dia akan langsung share di bagian project analysis ini. Biasanya dia kalau meme coin itu dia cuma share di bagian chat di Telegram atau di Discord. Tapi kalau misalnya koin-koin yang emang punya utilitas yang bagus itu tuh bisa dia langsung share-nya di bagian project analysis ini. Kalau misalnya mau akses ke Discord ini tuh bisa di blockcircle.com/id.
Did you mention, Agnes, that like we're very honest, so that we're completely objective? So I very clearly say what I don't like about projects, because I don't have any affiliation from them. We never accept any funds from them. We're like the only company that doesn't offer. We don't accept any affiliate deals or affiliate partnerships with exchanges. We don't do any of that crap.
So yes. So di Blockcircle kita nggak affiliate atau partnership sama exchange tertentu atau sama project-project tertentu. Jadi semua project-project yang terbaru yang emang kita analisis dan investasikan itu langsung di-share sama Basil di sini, dan dia benar-benar memberikan opini sesuai dengan yang sejujurnya gitu. Jadi dia kayak kalau apa yang dia nggak suka atau dia suka dari project ini semuanya ada di bagian project analysis. Nah sementara kalau misalnya, can you go back to Alpha Hunter tools again?
Yes.
Sementara kalau misalnya, thank you. Kalau misalnya token-token baru yang teman-teman mau cari, bisa langsung aja di bagian Alpha Hunter Solana-nya. Gitu Kak. Nanti kalau misalnya ada pertanyaan, boleh langsung aja. Basil udah mulai jawab pertanyaannya. Okay, Basil, thank you.
No problem. Okay. Connor, are we good with the questions? Thank you, Anton. Did you?
We're getting there, Basil. Just give me 2 minutes. You can start there with it. We've got a couple there for you.
Okay, perfect, brother. Let me do it now. So what I'll do is, let's call this Blockcircle Indonesia questions, and then also we're going to be doing, so we'll talk about that later. But I think this is good for now. All right. Can we delete all this other stuff in here too? I was going to ask that, right, Connor?
Basil, I'm just going through it and delete it now. So if you just bear with me.
Yeah, no, I know. I was just joking. Okay. So the first question was, can you share a real case study of a successful strategy in low cap on-chain market? Yeah, I did already. So I've shared multiple, where we were using the Alpha Hunter to be able to know when to enter, when to exit. And these are real winners. These are not like theoretical winners. These are real winners. So, and then we tracked which projects were tokenizing. So I was farming Hyperliquid for a long time. I was farming Eigenlayer, and we talked about that. And I even had a video on how to do restaking on YouTube. And then we have one on Drift. We did on Bearchain. So we got all of these airdrops, which were tremendous. And then they used the Alpha Hunter to be able to find these. So those are real wins. These are not like theoretical wins. So I would say that should hopefully give you some examples. And then, you know how we should do it, Connor? I'm just thinking we should try to maybe use this little check mark thingy. Yeah. So that's good. So now we did the first question, and then okay, this is awesome. Thank you, Connor. Okay, how to prevent the scam token we talked about at length. What are the common psychological traps when trading volatile tokens on chain? Like knowing when to cut losses or hold. So I would say, and I did a whole. If you go to, hopefully some of you have seen. There's a content series we wrote for Woo, which is like one of the largest exchanges, and so we wrote this. So the psychology of trading cryptocurrency. So I would definitely read this. So let me post this here. I would definitely read this article. It's long. I mean, it took me a long time to write, but I did it in partnership with a psychologist who's actually one of the alpha leaders in Blockcircle as well. Some of you have actually met him. So he's there, and his name is Fushli. So Fushli, but you'll see that I talk about everything. So I would definitely just go through all of this. But the main thing is exactly what I was talking to you about before around just taking profit, lowering your risk by taking profit and using the alpha hunter to be able to guide you of when to take profit, when to de-risk, and when to put on more, and tracking what the whales are doing. Like this is extremely important, knowing that the whales sold, right? You need to know that. Because if you don't know that, then you're flying blind. So being able to just track when they're buying, when they're selling is so valuable, right? Oh, wait. Let's see here. So yeah, so hopefully, so we went through that already. So hopefully that explains it. And then I would also use what I was telling now with the momentum trading engine. That is so helpful because then you learn about trailing stop losses. So trailing stop losses means you, instead of using a stop loss, which you have to keep manually keep changing and monitoring and keep adjusting and tweaking, you essentially would use a stop loss that is constantly changing automatically. So for example, here, so this is a really good visual. And this visual basically shows you that if you set the stop loss, let me see if I can give you a better, yes, it's perfect. So if you're entering a position at $8,000 and then you set a stop loss at 7,500, then you can keep adjusting the stop loss over and over and over again. And it'll automatically will change it, right? So hopefully that makes sense, but the trailing stop loss is a very good way of managing your risk. So yeah, that's exactly what I would say for sure. And then 1 second. Diane, close the door, please. Thank you, Bubba. Sorry, guys. Kids were like unbelievably loud. So I just told them to be quiet, which I don't know if they're going to listen, but it is what it is. So yeah, so that's how I would manage my risk and manage the psychology of trading. Honestly, it's to just, if you feel too stressed out in a position, then, and you have too much anxiety about it, then that means you have too much at risk. You have too much in the position. So it's best to de-risk and have a stop loss. And if you don't want to be exposed to a position when you're sleeping, then set a trailing stop loss and let it manage it. Because this is the best of both worlds. If the position continues to rise, then the stop loss will continue to move with it. If the position declines and goes down when you're sleeping, then the trailing stop loss will smash to it and it'll close and it'll sell your position right away. Hopefully you find that helpful. How can AI tools be integrated to help with faster, more efficient tokens? Okay, so that's what we're doing, right? That's exactly what the Alpha Hunter is. It's our own private algorithm that is using multiple AI models like neural networks and using deep learning methods and using machine learning methods to be able to scan all of the projects that are coming through and only giving you a few a day, right? So that's how we're using it. So that is by far the fastest, the most efficient way to do token research and screening. So that's how I would. Literally like I don't see any other superior method to doing it than that. The other thing you could do is exactly what I was mentioning. So when you click a project and you go to, so for example, if we click a Ethereum project, and you see, if you look at the tools, the audit tools that are available, right here. So these are all AI-based tools. So to me, the Alpha Hunter, why I'm proud of it, is because it's combining dozens of different methods and techniques and models and giving you the complete picture, right? Honeypot.is is extremely helpful, but it's only giving you that particular angle, right? But it's using AI-based methods. Go Plus Security is using AI-based methods. So these are all using AI tools, right? So that's how I would do it. And then the same thing with Gecko Terminal. When you're in Gecko Terminal and you're looking at projects, you can go to any of their projects that are just launched. So for example, if I go to Ethereum and I want to go to Solaxi, which is one of the ones that we found with Alpha Hunter. If I go to Solaxi, and if you scroll down, so if you scroll down here and you go to this Gecko Terminal score, so these are all AI-based scores. So DeFi Scan is another token audit tool. Go Plus we talked about already. And you see these tools right here, right? These are all AI-based tools. So I'm already using, in the Alpha Hunter, we're already leveraging all of these same methods and much more to be able to disqualify the projects. So again, if you have 100,000 projects, right, coming through, we are taking all of those questions or all of those tokens themselves, and then we're running them through hundreds and hundreds of checks. And after those hundreds of checks are done, it'll only give us one or two projects that are worth looking at. And so we're trying to be very, very strict with what we're seeing, but I think that helps reduce the risk. Now, if you want to do it manually, that's how I'm showing it to you, right? So you'd have to go through Cyberscope, TTFbot, Happy Labs, like the rug check is good. Quill check, right? DeFi scan, universal coin scan, looking at the score, token sniffer, honeypot.is. So those are all the AI tools to get you started. So hopefully that answers it. Okay, how will Blockcircle utilize and integrate AI multi-agents into this decentralized blockchain ecosystem without compromising its core values of transparency and decentralization? So our Alpha Hunter is essentially a group. It's like a swarm of different AI agents that are constantly scanning for new project launches across 20 blockchains. So think of it that way. So we have an Ethereum AI agent. We have a Solana AI agent. We have a Base AI agent. And it's constantly searching and looking for new projects. And it's looking for what whales are buying and what whales are selling, what profitable traders are buying and selling, and et cetera. So it doesn't affect our ability to be completely transparent and objective because, again, we don't partner with exchanges. We don't partner with projects. We don't ever accept projects offering us advisor fees. We never promote a project because they're paying us for it. We don't ever get involved with any of that. Like, we're very sincere and neutral. So that's what we always be. We're always neutral, right? And our reputation is clear because of that, right? Okay, now, what strategies are in Blockcircle to prevent centralized control bias or security risks that may arise? Yeah, so the best way is in the Alpha Hunter. I think there's an echo here a little bit. Connor, I think it's coming from your end. But basically, the how you would do that is you would look at bundled supply, and then you look at cabal rate. So let me show you. Let me give you an example of one that we have the data for. Okay, so here, a perfect example. This project, Zendog, right? Just launched today at 1 o'clock. Or we found it at 1 o'clock. You could see that it has 100% cabal rate, which means that there is a 100% chance, close to 100% chance, that this token involves some cabal, so some private network of investors who are controlling a big portion of the supply. Okay, there's no question about it. So that's we know that at minimum. So that's one way. Second way, if you see insiders made 87,000, that's another confirmation that the token supply is being controlled in some way, but they've already sold most of it. They're only holding 5,500 at that point, right? So that's one way. Another way is bundled percentage. So it's to see if it's bundled to begin with. So bundled again means how much of the token supply is being held in a small number of wallets. And if you see that, then you know that that's usually the insiders or the founders or the friends of founders, and they're the snipers, right? You keep seeing people who are sniping projects. That's how it works. And then another way is you look at all the rug risks. So you see if the rug risk is high, so it's score of 80 and above, or if you see liquidity is not being locked, or if you see a low number of holders, those are all risks, right? And morning, Baba. Okay, Baba, you can go see Mama, okay?
Okay.
Let me kiss this. Okay, go. Sorry, that's my. Okay, close the door, Baba. Second bed, please. Okay. Thank you, Habibi. Sorry, that's our baby Zane. Okay. So that's how you do it. So hopefully that answers that question. And then what are the simplest DeFi concepts or tools you recommend introducing to beginners, especially for those coming from non-technical backgrounds? So I would go through this workshop in detail, and then go to the course and go do. If you already know how to do technical analysis and timeframes and risk management, and you already know how to do off-chain trading using Indodax or Toko Crypto or Binance, then you can skip all that and go right to section 4, which is all DeFi, right? Which is all using decentralized exchanges, and go through the lessons one by one. After doing the lessons one by one, you should do the quizzes. And the quizzes are going to be very, very good for you to test your knowledge, right? Because it'll tell you like whether or not are you going to answer any of these questions correctly. Like, what is the primary purpose of a layer 2 blockchain? Is it to compete with layer 1? Is it to replace layer 1? Is it to optimize, improve scalability, right? So it's a bit of a trick question, but yeah. So these quizzes are very helpful after the lesson. And yeah, I would just go through it. They're not long, so you see these are like 15 minutes. I'm going through it detail. I take it step by step, and we take it slow. So hopefully that answers that. And then we went through all the tools already. The Alpha Hunter, the momentum trading engine, the Alpha community is incredibly powerful. The analytical platform is incredibly powerful. So, and that's everyone can access. Like, you don't even have to subscribe for that at all. Again, I'm not good at marketing, so if you want to join, we would love to have you. But yeah, this is how we do it. So if I want to track, Google search for Bitcoin, I can track that right now in the platform, and I can look at it for the last 5 years. So I can just track. So you can see exactly what the investor sentiment is, like how much interest there is and how we're doing, right? And you can see right now that we've essentially we're a lot higher than we were 5 years ago, right? But we're basically at 1/5 of the popularity since the beginning of Bitcoin, right? So 1/5 of the popularity since the beginning of Bitcoin. So that's how we do it. So those are the kinds of tools I would use. Can you tell us more of the activities and the purpose? I think we talked about that already, so we're good. But yeah, no, we want to grow and we want to help Indonesian crypto traders as much as possible. That's why we're focusing a lot of our time and effort on Blockcircle Indonesia. That's why we have Agnes and Connor there, like in Bali.
Yeah.
So,
Basil, on that, just one that some people might be wondering as well. We mentioned that we don't sort of take any cuts from exchanges or any cuts from projects. We also, so the main sort of way we keep Blockcircle going, and we fund all the research, and we fund the Alpha Hunter, and we fund the things that we're working on is through the membership fees, and that also is there to try to keep pump and dumpers, riffraff, and we have a vetting process as well to try and keep people out.
of course,
To keep the Blockcircle the last place in crypto without scammers and people that want to get easy money. So
yeah, I mean that's the thing that I think people don't understand is that we have to manually ourselves scan every single person who wants to apply for premium access. Like we're not, and we refuse a lot of people. So anybody who has a bad history, anybody who's known for pumping and dumping, anybody who's a shiller, we disqualify right off the bat. And if we find out that they are shillers, we disqualify them and we remove them. And we've had this problem with every single market. Every single market we block people and we tell them that they're not allowed to join, and they get upset. But this is the only way to keep the community and keep everyone in the alpha group clean and free of people who are just scamming trash. So because there's so many scammers in crypto, like it's so frustrating, and it's something that I take very seriously, and it's something that I take personally. So I don't want scammers in Blockcircle. I don't want Blockcircle to grow to like tens of thousands of people. That's not my goal. That's not my interest at all. Like I'm doing this so even if I end up having, an obscene amount, like hundreds of millions in the future, I will always focus on Blockcircle because that's where we get the alpha, right? There's literally no better source for me to get an edge on the market, especially now with the Alpha Hunter coming out, So yeah, that's a good way of explaining it. Okay, so now 3 more questions. What is the most effective strategy for trading low liquidity assets to still realize profits without getting caught? Yeah, I think we talked about that, right? I mean, so if you stick to the Alpha Hunter projects themselves, then you're not going to get ones that have like tiny liquidity of like 3,000 or 5,000. And you shouldn't be getting caught in ridiculous amounts of slippage. So slippage is when you want to buy a token at $3, and then by the time you actually buy it, it ends up becoming $4, right? Because it's so illiquid. It's such an illiquid asset. It doesn't have deep liquidity pools. And if it doesn't have deep liquidity pools, the price changes very rapidly. And that's what you're experiencing with that extreme volatility. So the best thing to do is you can break up your transactions in smaller orders. So rather than buying $100, buy $10 each time and then see what it does to the price, let it catch up. The second thing is you can use different trade execution bots like Maestro, Photon, right? Those types of bots. And those types of Trojan bots, those bots are really good in being able to execute transactions faster. And then that reduces your slippage. So, and that reduces your transaction fees and it reduces you being front run. So the fact that you're asking this, I think shows me that you're obviously more advanced. So that's why I'm explaining it to you concretely what you can do. So hopefully that answers that. What indicators or metrics do you use to assess whether a low liquidity asset is still worth trading to make a profit? So I feel like I've answered that now. So, I mean, there's like hundreds, right? So there's hundreds that we're going through. Another thing is in the Alpha Hunter, when you join, there's a user guide, and this user guide is very, very helpful. So this user guide is like, let me try to like show you. It's too small. But yeah. So this user guide, you could see how detailed it is, right? So we have a pre-buying checks, and post-buying checks. And we're constantly tweaking this. And we put weights of importance. And it all rolls up to 1. So these weights of importance tells you, okay, track if the whale count is greater than 1. Track if the project has a website. Track if the token value, are the whales buying or selling anymore. Check the size of the whales. Check the quality of the whales. Check the health of the whales. So there's all these checklists that we go through. And a lot of this is already automated through the Alpha Hunter. But even after buying, you want to follow the post-checking check. So that's what we do. So hopefully that answers that. And then what indicators also that we're using if you go to the YouTube and go to the course itself and go to section 2, there's a lesson on Blockcircle technical indicators that Alex did. I'm trying to find it. It's here somewhere. No, it's not this one. But there is one here for sure. And if you go to the Blockcircle itself and go to the videos, there's one on the indicators. This one. So this shows you some really good indicators to use. The Blockcircle set of indicators. Watch this video. And then this shows you how we're using the Blockcircle waveband, and which is this. So this is very, very helpful. Let me turn this off. So these wavebands are extremely helpful because it uses SMA and EMA, so exponential moving average and simple moving average. And it allows you to just see, especially if you're looking at it on a weekly basis, it shows you whether or not are we crossing over below when the waves are slowly declining, or are we crossing above when the waves are on an incline, right? You can see right now that we started pivoting back in, the beginning of February or late January. That's when we started falling right below the 8-week. So that's one indicator. Another indicator is the RSI. So I like to use the RSI. And then another indicator that I will show you is if I go to the indicators here and this one. So the momentum one is very good. And that's what I use. So these are the 2 or the 3 that I use. So I like to have this one at the bottom. And this is what I use. So I use the RSI and then I use the momentum. This momentum indicator is very helpful. You could see that momentum for crypto versus stocks is on a decline for the last 4 weeks, right? You could see that. And if I want to run it for Bitcoin, you could see that, let's see here. It's on a decline also, but now it's starting to flatten, right? But RSI is above 50. And now we're back to a range. So we're being range bound here, especially if you look at it on a daily basis. So we're stuck between 98 and 108,000. So hopefully that answers that. And then the last question is, how do you deal with the psychological stress of trading low liquidity assets, especially when the market moves against your predictions? Honestly, it's a struggle. Like I don't even know if I am dealing with it like entirely all the time, because I feel like even no matter how disciplined I like to be, I'm still under stress. Like when I'm buying some of these positions because they're so risky. So then I'm realizing that I'm putting too much in. So I try not to put in more than a few dollars per each of these trades because I know that it can just disappear. Like I've seen so many projects disappear in like 2 minutes, right? So what I do is I just keep modifying the logic, right? I keep modifying the logic of the projects that are coming through the Alpha Hunter to make it even more picky and more selective. So look right now we just got one. It just launched 812. So what is this? Alio. So Alio VC, is that a venture capitalist company? See, this is interesting. So let's see this. So it's gone. It went all the way to 1. Now it's back down to 360. Let's look at the website. X currently under management. Okay. So redefining decentralized venture capitalism with AI. Good. That looks interesting. Decentralized autonomous investment fund powered by artificial intelligence. Okay. Website looks cool. But who are they and what's their team and what are they about? So they're pushing you right to the chart. I don't like that. And this is weird. This is contradictory. It's saying that it's under management, but then it's already launched here. So that's a little odd. So let's look at their Twitter. So it's already followed by 2 big whales, and they already paid the $300 a month to do the institutional verification. But you see this? I don't like this. Like on-chain didn't even truly exist in 2016. So we know that they're repurposing the X profile, right? So I don't like that. I can tell you that much right now. And so clearly they got this, they have this profile that they rebranded to Alio. And so that means they acquired these followers. These are not real followers. These are followers from the prior profile. And who are they? Do we know anything about them? So I would look at this. I would look at the projects. Early alpha. Who are these guys? Are these guys all pumpers? Yeah, you see? See? DM for paid collaborations. So these people have all been involved in pushing this project since May 25th, but it wasn't even launched back then. So these are KOLs and influencers that are being paid to do that. Rug Tech. See, that's interesting, right? When someone says that right away, it doesn't matter if it's true or not. It means that at least one person thinks that it could be a rug, so you have to be careful. But you can't lose sight that this is a meme, right? I know they're positioning themselves as not being a meme, and it's just an AI fund. I don't know. We'll see. But it was launched on Bunk Fund, which is already done better than Solana Pump Fund. So I would look at this. I would track it. Let's look at the whales. Who are they? This whale is pretty good. This whale is very good. They have 211,000 of Launchcoin, which is a legitimate project, and they have 100,000 of Solana. This is a very good whale. And this one too. Like, I like seeing whales that have a good amount of stable coins. Shows me that they're responsible and mature and they're disciplined. So it's clear presence, Basil. I think Blockcircle will mitigation for risks on management trading and to prevent lost funds. Yeah, but of course, that's our goal, and that's what we try to do, and we take pride in that, right? And you see, like, when you join, you'll see, like, we're a family. We always look after each other. We always help each other. There's people who are, suffering a lot of stress in different areas of their lives, and like, we're there to help them. And and it's just really fun. Like, it's just a really cool group of people. But yeah, thank you for that. So yeah, if I think that's all I have. We've gone through a lot. There's a lot of content. But again, the last time, if you guys want to join, we're running like a pretty awesome promo until Sunday, and then we're stopping it. It's June Workshop ID 1. And it's like, ends up being 30 or 40% off the price for yearly. And that's about it, really. So yeah, let's open it up for the rest of the questions. I can stay on. Any questions from anyone? You can write them, or you can speak them. You can ask them in Bahasa, Indonesian. You can even ask them in Ambonese Indonesian if you want to. I don't even know how different that is. Then, is there Balinese Indonesian too, or no? Or is there? There is, huh? Okay. Is it completely different? Wow. Okay. It's cool. Then I gotta learn. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Is it really? Different language, huh? Yeah, I could see that. All right, guys. Well, I don't have anything else. I think we've been on for a long time. I really appreciate your time. Thank you for the opportunity. You're completely clear. Thank you, Wildan. I'm happy. I'm happy you guys found some value in it. Thank you, Lena, for the nice words. Thank you. You're very welcome. Very welcome. Welcome, XPlay. Welcome, Anton. Okay, guys. Well, you know how to reach us.
Yeah, guys, if anyone does want to join us, just get in touch via the Telegram or DM me on LinkedIn, Basil on LinkedIn, Agnes on LinkedIn.
Oh yeah.
Anywhere you can find us, we'll get back to you. And if you any questions, anything, the Alpha Hunter, the Momentum Trading Engine, the communities, anything at all, just please reach out.
Yep, that's my LinkedIn there.
Using this.
Cool, guys. Well, thank you so much. You have a good day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Connor. Thank you, Agnes. Awesome job.
Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.